So in the last video, we learned about what is data frame, how to create a data frame, if there is any inbuilt data frame, how to call that and see first couple of rows, how to see the structure, summary, and even how to access the column as well. Now in this video, we'll go one level down and learn all the other function which is normally being used on data frame. And why I am putting so much effort on data frame, because most of the cases we deal with data frame while dealing with actual data. Now accessing column is pretty easy. So once you write any data frame, then after that if you put dollar, then you would see all the columns whatever it contains, and you can see whatever is there in that column. Now there is another way to do it. So if you use the third bracket, and if you say like you have row comma column, as I discussed earlier, similarly you can name the column and you can see the column as well. But the problem is, if you have more than one column, how do you do that? So in that case, you have to use combine function and give the number of all those columns, and you can see those columns as well. Similarly, we will see the demo in a moment. And then similarly, accessing row is also easy. As I said, use third bracket, and between third bracket row comma column. So if you want to see second row, you simply pass 2 comma blank. Blank means all the columns, and you can see the second row of empty car data. And here if you see, you can see the displacement column of empty car data. Now if you want to drop a column, you don't want that column to be included in your data frame, then you simply put minus sign before that number. So if you say that I don't want to see third column, drop third column, which is actually displacement column. So if you say within third bracket all the rows comma -3, then it would actually drop that column. So if you see now in this empty car data, you do not have displacement column. Similarly, if you want to drop second and third, it would actually drop displacement and cylinder, which we will see the demo. And the fourth one which we would learn is actually subsetting. So what if you don't want to see all the rows of that column, you want to see only those observation or those car brand where the cylinder value is more than 6 or the horsepower is more than 50, you want to see it. Once you create the new data frame called car1 using the subset function. So in subset function, you are passing the data comma you are passing the condition, and based on that, once your car is created, you can see that in cylinder column of that car data frame has only cylinder which is more than 6. Similarly for horsepower also you can see the result. Let's quickly go to the demo part and you would understand in a better way. Till this point we have done. So we have learned if you have empty car, as you can see, but if you want to see only one of the column, then you can access through dollar. But if you don't want to do it, we'll learn all those things. But before we do it, let's store the empty car data in a new data frame called df. So now if you see data frame now contains exactly same value as empty car. Now as I was saying, so even from df also, if you write df dollar, you can see all those values. So any column you can access. Similarly, I have access displacement. Now in displacement also, if you want to access only the second row, second observation, you can do that as well. Now the second way of doing it is actually using the third bracket row comma column. So I am saying 2 comma blank, that means second row all the column. Exactly, you can see Mazda RX-4 was the second one. If you remember, Mazda RX-4 was first one and Mazda RX-4 WAG was the second one, second car brand. So for that car brand, all the attribute you can see. Now if you want to see displacement column using that third bracket method, you can look into that column. If you want to see only second row and displacement column, then that is the value 160 you can see. And other way to do it is actually you can give the which row and which column, which is second and third. You can see the same result is coming because the third column was displacement. Instead of writing the name, you are just passing the value of that column and you can get it. And then now we are going to see the demo for dropping attribute. Now if you see, I want to drop third column, so I am saying blank comma -3. Similarly, if you want to drop more than 2 column, as I said, use combine function and then remove so displacement. In the first we have removed displacement, but in the second we have removed displacement as well as cylinder. Okay. Now we will learn about subsetting a function by using some condition. Suppose you have this data frame and you want all those observations where cylinder is more than 6 and you are storing it in car 1. You can see this is your car 1, and if you see the cylinder value, all of them are more than 6. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, all of them are more than 6. Okay. And you can particularly call that column itself using $value. Similarly, if you want only those observations where horsepower is more than 50, you can do that and you can see the result. Now we will be learning about R-bind and C-bind. Let me quickly go through here. Yeah, so as I said, what if you have two data frame? So you have data frame 1, data frame 2. Now you want to combine them by row. So in the first data frame, suppose you have 20 car brand, and in second data frame you have 12 car brand. Now you want to combine these two. So you can do that using R-bind function. Similarly, if you have two column, suppose for all the 32 car brand you have a mileage, which is a column, and then you have maybe another one, maybe cylinder. So you want to combine these two columns, that also you can do using C-bind function. Let me quickly give you the demo. So let's first create two separate data frame so that we can use R-bind. So right now we have in data frame, right now if you see how many rows and how many columns we have, let me look into the structure of it. All the time you have any confusion, you just see the str structure, you can look into that. Yeah, so you have 32 observation, which is rows, and 11 variable, 11 attribute, 11 column. Okay, now you are taking only first 20 rows and rest all the columns in df1. Now if you see df1, your new data frame, data frame would be having 20 observation and 11 variable. And now you are creating another data frame, which is df2. Now you are taking rest of them 21 to 32, and if you see now it has only 12 observation, 21 to 32, but all the columns. Now if you want to combine these two data frame, the way to do it is using R-bind function. And using R-bind function, now I created a new data frame called df-full, and if you see the str structure of this df-full, you would see you have now all the 32. I hope you could understand this part. Now let's move to the C-bind function. So again, to use C-bind function, we need two columns. So let's create two columns. So one column is maybe mileage. So using the same df, now the df contains empty car data. So from df, we are creating df3, data frame 3, which has only the mileage. Similarly, df, we are creating data frame 4, which contains only cylinder value. Yes, now you want to combine these two, df3 and df4 you want to combine, but now you have to combine using C-bind. And now if you see, you have the full df full, which has these two columns. If you see these two columns, now I will show you if you want to change the name of those attribute, how to do that and all those things in this next segment. But before that, let me walk you through the theory first. So there is a concept of factor. So if you remember, I said you can create a data frame using more than one data types. It can be a mixture of numeric with character with logical, all those things, right? Similarly, if you see, suppose I am creating a data frame which has these three vector. You have name, you have gender, you have age, and you have created a new data frame using data.frame function, and if you see the class of it, you would get it as data.frame. But surprisingly, if you try to see the class of this name, so you know this data frame $name would give me all those names, right? Now if you try to see the class of it, you would be surprised. This is now not a character variable, rather it's now a factor. So it's another new data type. So that's how we would learn here. Let me quickly go here. So suppose I am creating a new variable called name, and if you see the class of it, it's right now character, which is perfectly fine. Then similarly, we are creating sex with male, male, female, and if you see the class again, it's still character. But if you see age, the class would be the class would be numeric. Yeah, numeric. Now you are creating a data frame, and if you see the data frame, it contains now name, sex, and age. Now if you see the class of the whole data frame, it's data.frame. But surprisingly, if you see the name in the data frame, the class is factor. So that is what I was trying to say, that in a data frame, character vector are automatically converted into factors, and the number of labels can be determined as the number of different values in such a vector. Okay, so if you see here, if you see the class, yeah, so if you see the character, all the character has now changed to factor. Now in the next video, we will learn how to change, even if it is not a character, then how to change it to a factor, and where to use factor, what is the intuition of it, and then how to change the name of those labels as well.